Welcome to Bad Nurse Files. So, we're told to trust the food supply, yet every week we see another recall: lettuce tainted with E. coli, peaches laced with Listeria, and bag salads linked to Cyclospora. Is this a coincidence or is this a symptom of something deeper happening to the American food system? Today, we're going beyond symptoms and bacteria. We'll break down the most dangerous food pathogens, Listeria, Salmonella, E. coli, and Cyclospora, and how they're showing up in our kitchen, and how this chaos may be clearing the way for something else, maybe synthetic lab grown meat. So let's start with the biology of what these pathogens are. So, Listeria is often found in soft cheeses, it's deli meat, and prepackaged salads. It's especially dangerous for pregnant people and the elderly. The severe symptoms are fever, stiff neck, and confusion. You will see with all these pathogens a lot of GI related symptoms like vomiting, diarrhea. You might have some fatigue. So those are normal symptoms. When you have fever, stiff neck, and confusion, that is worth going to the hospital for. But again, with vomiting and diarrhea, you might experience some dehydration. So staying hydrated is the most important thing whenever you do have food poisoning. So the next one we're going to go to is E. coli. It's commonly traced to undercooked beef and raw produce. Remember, this was linked to the McDonald's onions last year. I don't know if you guys heard about that whole fiasco. A lot of people got sick. I'm sure that one person died because of that. With Listeria, we've had a few deaths as well last year. And with Salmonella, it's found in poultry, eggs, and even peanut butter. Symptoms include diarrhea, fever, and cramping, which again, we also talked about GI issues for all of these. So salmonella, I think, has been the most prominent one. We've had an egg salmonella recall or like alert since September 2024. It was linked to some Florida backyard chickens, that eggs that were sold here in Florida. But we also have this new salmonella case that the FDA has just reported the number of people affected, but not their names, their what food they eat, or what trace back they're doing. So we're still waiting for that report. And recently, Cyclospora has entered the chat as well, a parasite traced to bag salad mixes. And experts were saying that even if you wash your herbs and your fruits, it's still going to be on there. So that's great, right? So in July 2024 alone, the FDA and CDC issued multiple recalls tied to these pathogens. You can trace it back to the FDA.gov and CDC outbreaks if you want to look into those and see which recalls they have done. On my TikTok page, I always talk about this as well, and I do screenshots of the lot numbers and the dates and the states involved. So the question is, so why does our food keep getting contaminated? Because I don't remember these many recalls in my lifetime than the ones I've seen since 2024. So while Americans lose trust in their grocery aisles, something new is being cooked up quite literally. So in 2023, the USDA approved two companies, Good Meat and Upside Down Foods, to sell lab grown chicken in the US. So this isn't plant based Beyond Meat. This is like cell cultured meat, like made in steel bioreactors from animal stem cells. So it's promoted as cleaner and pathogen free. But here's a twist though: as the public is bombarded with foodborne illness recalls, the media narratives paint this lab grown meat as a safer alternative. And is it a solution, or are we being set up? Are we being pushed away from natural foods with all these pathogens? Or is it just a coincidence? Is it just because we're short staffed, or funds are low, or people are not following through with safety protocols? I don't know, but not everyone's buying the hype, that's for sure. As of mid 2025, 9 U.S. states, including Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, Missouri, Arizona, South Dakota, and Texas, have passed legislation banning the sale or manufacture of synthetic meat. So, Florida Governor DeSantis signed a bill declaring synthetic meat as a threat to traditional agriculture and food sovereignty. And while the FDA and USDA continue supporting these developments, independent scientists and farmers are raising red flags about unknown long term effects and the corporate centralization of food. Let me mention as well who's involved in these. It's someone that starts or has a last name with Gates, and we all know how he feels about population. So it's not just about me, it's about who controls the food. That's the most fundamental form of power there is. So, whether you believe this is deliberate or just progress gone wrong, One thing is clear, your plate is political. Everything is political right now. And they're doing this under our noses. So stay aware, read your labels, know your sources, and before you trust this lab grown meat to be your safe option, ask yourself who's profiting, because it's not us. So if you found this information helpful and you like to hear it, like and subscribe, follow me, the Bad Nurse, for more uncensored deep dives into food, medicine, and the system behind it all. And like I always say, follow to stay in the know.